Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the video for station number 1, and your goal today is to solve inequalities using addition and subtraction, and this corresponds to section 5-1. I highly encourage you to take some notes from the following examples. You don't have to write everything word for word, but you should write something. Alright, so we're adding or subtracting to solve an inequality. Now remember, an inequality is this symbol here. Less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. And when we're solving inequalities, it is exactly like solving an equation. Okay, so we've got y plus 15 is less than or equal to 60. So to solve this, we want to get the y by itself. So we're going to subtract 15 from both sides. 15 minus 15 is 0, so it'll disappear, and we'll be left with y using the same exact symbol, and then 60 minus 15 is 45. Now remember, we're doing this section without calculators. So if you're having any trouble, please let me know. You will be quizzed and tested without a calculator. Let's try the next example. We've got negative 4 plus x is greater than 16. You want to practice reading those inequality symbols properly using the vocabulary. Okay? Now we're trying to get the x alone. So we've got a negative 4 here. To make that disappear, we need to add 4, and we're going to do that to both sides. So that should give us x, same symbol, and then 16 plus 4 is 20. Sorry about the noise in the background. There's somebody drilling nearby. Alright, so let's go on. I wanted to mention briefly how to graph these solutions. You'll be focusing on this at another station, but just real quick, let's take a look at how to graph it. So y is less than or equal to 45. So because it can be equal to, I'm going to use a closed circle. It means it's filled in. It can be equal to. And it says y is less than or equal to, so I'm going to shade where it's less than. All right, let's graph x is greater than 20. It cannot be equal to 20, so we're going to use a open circle, and we're going to shade where x is greater than 20. All right, so let's go ahead and look at some more examples. These examples are a little bit more challenging. Notice in letter A, we've got 2 variables. Now, we're still going to be adding or subtracting in order to solve. So the first thing we need to do is make sure that we have all variables on one side. So I'm going to make that 2x disappear by subtracting 2x. That's going to give me 7, because that 2x disappears, is greater than 6 minus 2 is 4x. All right, now I need to get that x totally by itself. So we're going to need to divide both sides by 4. Because 4 divided by 4 is 1. And so the x is now all by itself. And we get the fraction 7/4. That cannot be simplified. You just leave it exactly as you wrote it, 7/4. All right, let's try this other one here, letter B. This one looks a little scary, only because it hasn't been totally simplified. This is y minus a negative 6. Okay, so I'm just going to real quick first change that. I'm going to rewrite it so we can see it a little bit better. That's y plus 6 is less than 12. So now this is really easy to decide what we need to do. We need to get the y alone. So I should subtract 6 from both sides. and I get y is less than 6, because 12 minus 6 is 6. All right. Now, a final note, you'll notice in your practice today that the multiple choice has something called set builder notation. Now, you've seen that your answers, as you've been solving, look like this. Y is greater than 7. But set builder notation is the format that the book uses, and you will need to be able to recognize it, but you are not required to use it. Now, set builder notation has some brackets, and then the variable that's being used, and that just means we are using the variable y. Then it has a line, and then it has the actual solution. So in this case, y is greater than 7, and then the bracket is closed. So for the variable y, the solution is y is greater than 7. That's what set builder notation. But super simple to recognize. You just have to look in the second half to find the solution. All right, so now you need to go back to the Google Doc to see your next step. Make sure you stay on task.